Hey guys, welcome to the Jesse Lee Falls podcast. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to get away from the business talk for a moment, and since I'm always talking about the micro end of everything, I thought that I should go into the micro end of music. And for me, the micro end of music is knowing your modes. And sometimes people refer to them as the 7 church modes. And what the modes are, if you don't know already, when you take the major scale of any key, if you just take the major scale, and if you start that scale on a different note than the tonic, so if you're in G major, if you start that scale on A and then you play that G major scale all the way out and then end on A, that becomes A Dorian. And the reason why modes are important is because they're not just different modes for the scale, but they're actually moods. Each scale has a certain mood, and so we're going to go over that, and I'm going to kind of run through them fairly quickly. My counterpart here running the camera, Erin, she's going to kind of zoom in on my hands when I'm showing you the scales. And what I'm going to show you is I'm going to do 3 notes per string. This is how I was taught. There's also the cage system, which I'll do in a different video. But this is how I was originally taught, and this is kind of the rock guitar player kind of style of learning the modes that you'll often see. Three notes per string. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys this in the key of G major, which is the relative, E minor is the relative minor to G major. So we're going to start in G. And the first scale is Ionian, and I'm just going to play it. And what that is I'll just run through the numbers real quick, tablature mode. 3 5 7, 3 5 7, 4 5 7, 4 5 7, 5 7 8, 5 7 8. And the cool thing about the modes is when you get to that last line, that's actually the beginning of the next scale. So you can actually, because that's that E string and that E string, right? So that actually shows you the next, how the next mode is actually mapped out. So that's kind of cool. So I'll just run through that one more time. This is Ionian, or also known as just natural major. Okay, the next one is Dorian. And again, all we're doing is we're playing the G major scale, but I'm starting it on a different note, and I end it on a different note. And then the next one is Phrygian. The next one is Lydian. The next one is Mixolydian. The next one is Aeolian, or natural minor. And then the next one is, it's pronounced Locrian or Locrian sometimes. And it's a very different scale. You don't hear people really using it a lot in music. But it goes like this. Now, when you play all the notes and the scales right back to back with each other, you can't hear the differentiated moods that actually come with that scale. And the reason why is because you're just hearing the individual notes, and it all just kind of blends together. And technically it is the same scale, so you're hearing these notes just being repeated all the way down the neck. The cool thing is that that gives you a really good way to get around the neck quickly. And so I'm just going to run that again. We've got Ionian, we got Dorian, we got Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, or natural minor. Oh, I messed that one up. And then we've got Locrian. So, I'm going to show you how these scales do have different moods, but the way that you extract the mood is each scale comes with an appropriate chord that supports it. That's made of the same notes of that scale. And so when you hear the G major, and I'll just I'll use my cheesy little loop pedal here. I gotta delete this first. But what I'll do is I'll just play a G chord and I'll show you guys. So taking the G major scale, so pretty happy. It's pretty cheeseball, but you know, it's got this happy vibe to it. So the second scale is Dorian, and the Dorian scale is actually a minor scale, but it has a major sixth tone. So it's not like the natural minor scale, which has it has a minor third and a minor sixth. So it has a little bit different tone to it because of that major sixth, and the chord that goes with that, that's associated with it, is a so if I was going to be in the key of G major, I would move that up to A, because that's A Dorian, and that's an A minor sixth chord, and that would sound something like this. And this is where the moods actually start to come out of the modes. So 1, 2, 3. So I kind of screwed the loop up a little bit, but you can hear how that has a completely different feel and a completely different, it just has a different mood to it. It's not as happy as the G major. And then, so if we were going to move up the scale and we were going to go into a Phrygian, Phrygian is different because it's a minor scale, but it has a flat second, and so it sounds like this. But what you want to do is, if you're not going to incorporate like a certain chord to back it, then what you want to do is you want to come up with a somewhat kind of a progression that incorporates those notes. So if it's not just a chord that incorporates those notes, come up with some sort of a progression or riff that's going to incorporate those notes. So with Phrygian, to really get the mood that it is setting, you want to incorporate that flat too. So I would do something like this, and it would probably sound a little more rock, you know. So that's got a really dark sound. So now the next one would be Lydian, and so that would put me in C, and C Lydian is pretty cool. It's a major scale, but it has a augmented fourth tone to it, which makes it sound really interesting. So if I was going to incorporate the Lydian scale, I would create some kind of a riff that would incorporate this chord here, which has you got the fifth and the toggle between the sharp four, and I would do something like this to bring that mood out of what Lydian has to offer. Something like that, right? So that brings out a completely different mood. So the next chord that we're at is now we're in D, which is D, just D minor, and that's D. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, I'm sorry. Lydian. Oh, we're in Mixolydian. So D dominant 7, and this is a fun one. Mixolydian is technically it's a major scale. It has a major third, but it has a flat 7th, and so the chord that goes along with that is a
1 minute mark
dominant 7th, and then we're going to get through this, and I'm going to meet you guys on the other side. This one is D dominant 7th, so I would do something like this.